All right, I'll just show you a couple tricks real quick. So there's a few things when modeling. We want all of our polygons to be four-sided, if possible. We want not too much geometry, but enough that it looks good. And what else? We want the geometry to flow nicely. So in rings, if it all connects, that's good. I'll show you a couple tricks. So if I start with a circle, you can go down here and change how many segments it has. So depending on how high quality your game is, I'm just going to start with 16 or something. Problem with the circle is they're all four-sided. I call them quads, but four-sided except for the top. So a trick I use is I go to edges and I'll select every other edge by holding Control. And then I press the delete button and go to dissolve edges, and it'll get rid of them. And now I have 1, 2, 3, four-sided polys everywhere. So that's just a little trick. Oops. Let's see, another trick that's good is first of all, get your views down. So if you press 5, it switches between perspective and orthographic on the number pad. So everything on the number pad controls different views. Press 1, it goes to the front view, so I can switch between perspective and orthographic. And just kind of explore and see what all the buttons do on the number pad. Oh, let me check your email. Two seconds. Hey, that's looking pretty cool. So are you just kind of freestyling this? Did you draw this out first, or are you going just out of your head with this one? I mean, like, did you draw it out first? So this is going to be an issue, not the end of the world. You can press K, and that'll give you a knife tool. And you can connect it. Because you're going to want, or you know, it's probably even easier is have faces. I can just, oh, you want that nice clean circle though, huh? So I would probably draw those lines in. Or you can do something like that. Oh, you did an interior. That's what's up. Okay. You probably don't need the interior unless it's going to be taken off. So if it is, that's fine. And let's see. Huh. Something weird here. Okay, there were some doubles. Sometimes you'll get double vertices. If you press A, it'll select all if you have it under vertices. And then click here, remove doubles, it'll get rid of them sometimes. Yeah, you'll get used to modeling more as you do it. It's a kind of a weird process in general. You know, there are certain ways to do it and steps to take, and you'll just get better with time. Still not letting me do that. It's weird. And there's no armholes. Well, the problem is if it's an interior, it'll have to be, you know, it needs armholes and all that too. So I would do the exterior first and then worry about the interior. You can always like extrude it in a bit. It's fine. These are just your first like attempts at modeling. So um, really if you want to do it, let's see. And then just choose an image. I don't have an image, but you can see if you put an image back there, then you can follow the lines a lot easier. So if you draw out your armor first, it makes it easier. There we go. So I could just follow the drawing. You can tell it where to show the images. So you could say, I want it at the front, and then you can have one of them for the side and one of them for the back and line it all up. You can scoot these things around once they're on there. So you can line it up how you like. Generally, you want to keep your model at 0. So, which you did, it looks like. So you can line that up, and then you can press Z to go see through it, or you can click here and do wireframe also. And then you can just start following the shapes, and do the same in side view as well. And see, when I change the view, it's gone. So you could do one for each viewport if you just add more images and then tell it which viewport to use. Here, I'll just give you some weird tips you might want to use. So let's say we want to do like an Iron Man thing, and we want to, oops, lost this thing. There it is. Maybe put like a circle in the middle, which is a little tricky. So let's say I want to like combine these two things for whatever reason, okay? You can line them up and then choose, I think you choose the the bigger piece you're going to stick with and go to this little tool. It's under modifier. There's a bunch of different modifiers. So for this one, we would use Boolean, which either combines or subtracts shapes. So you can see, oh, so what you do is you have this one, and then now I need it to combine with another object. So I click this little dropper and click the other object. And they all do slightly different things. I'm gonna want union, and then I can just delete the other ones. So press apply. Then I just delete those extra ones. And now I have this thing connected. Doesn't always work. This is not the best way to do it, but it is one way to do it, and it does work somewhat. It even tries to go in there and give you decent geometry. On that note, some geometry is bad, such as this, because this is inverted, or it's concave, right? We want all of our shapes to be non-inverted, convex, basically, so they don't go in. That creates shading problems and stuff. So like for this one, I would just go like that, and now it's not inverted. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you have to get a triangle in there, it's not the end of the world. I could always connect this or whatever. Everything is eventually going to be triangles. But if you start with all squares, then the game will know, chop all those squares in half, and now they're all triangles. This thing is obviously not good to leave as a 100-sided polygon. You would want to delete it and You could do something like that, and then go to merge at center, and it'll merge all those vertices together. And then if you really wanted to stick with quads, you could go here and do that trick I showed you where you delete every other one. So now we got all quads. You can do like an Iron Man thing there. What else? So that's called Boolean. Stuff happened. Let me see what else you got too. Boots, chest, tacit. I want to see what this one is. Oh, cool. There you go. So what's a tacit? Where does this go? This thing seems a little bit off, like one. Okay, waist armor. Seems like it's just slightly off by like one polygon. If you ever think it's off, or here's a technique I use a lot. I will make sure I can select through everything with this button and then line it up in the front. I press B for the box selection. Make sure you're on polygons. Select the half you don't want and delete it. Oh, shoot, I didn't have this on. Oops. Okay, so if anything is symmetrical, you don't necessarily need to do both sides. It saves you a lot of work if you just do one side. So what I do is I'll grab it and then go to the modifiers again and click modifier, go to mirror, and it'll mirror it over. Make sure you're in the right axis so you could mirror it any which way. This works good if everything is everything is zeroed out and right on this line, which you did, so that's good. And it'll merge your vertices if you have this on. The merge limit is how far away do they have to be to merge. So if they're not merging, you can crank this up a little bit. But that should do it right there. And then you just press apply and it'll kick in. So now you know for sure that it's symmetrical. What else? Some short keys. E is a very useful short key. E is for extrude. So you can, if you grab a piece and you press E, it'll let you pull it out. So it's easy to start modeling like this, you know, whatever shape you wanted to do. What else? I think I showed you soft proportional editing last week, but let's say I want to widen this thing a bit. I can select like some of these, and then click proportional editing. It works really good. And when you're dragging, you can scroll your mouse wheel to change the size of this thing. And it'll allow you to get some clean, like organic deformations, as opposed to just, otherwise it would just be this. So good. Yeah, I can tell. That's the only way to really get these shapes, is to do it like with a proportional editing. It really works. And you can use that in a combination of ways and really get kind of any organic shape you're going for. Another one you might want to know is if I have my edges on and I want to select an edge loop, which an edge loop is what it sounds like, a loop of edges that continue. So I'll hold Alt and I'll right click, and that gives me the loop. It looks like you have some extra vertices in here. So select vertices, press A, get them all, and then remove doubles. And you can see it removed 96 extra vertices. Sometimes that happens from the mirroring, and sometimes that just happens from your modeling process. Happens all the time. Not a big deal. Use this button. Really helpful. Because the last thing you need is extra vertices. It'll mess up everything. It'll mess up your lighting, your texturing, your unwrapping, everything. Yeah, that's crucial. What else? Oh yeah, I was saying loops. So if I want to do edge loops, I hold Alt and click an edge loop, and you can see it selected that whole loop. It works either way. You can hold Shift and Alt at the same time and select multiple edge loops like that. If you have like a loop and you want to fill the gap, press F and it'll fill. Obviously, you need to add the geometry here. So shortcut for that is K for knife. K for knife. And then you would just connect the dots or whatever. And you press Enter when you're done with the knife to make the cut. What else? Oops there. If you're trying to give depth to things all the time, I would use that Alt loop select thing. So for some reason, it seems like your geometry is a little bit off over here, like they're not merged together. So you might need to check on that. But anyways, get the whole thing selected, and then you can press E for extrude, which will pull it all out, and press S for scale, and you could scale it in, So E for extrude, S for scale, and then scale it in, and it'll give you a little bit more depth. And then you can press E again and pull it up. If you want to lock the axis, you can press Z, and it'll just do the one. But obviously be careful with some of this. Usually something like that is enough because this will be on a person, and it'll, as long as they don't see the inside, it's fine. You can connect it all the way around if you want, but it's just extra work. So I would just Oops. Basically, just don't have these selected. And extrude and then hold Z to get it to go that way. Oops. Turn this off. Oh, I messed up. And then you would need to merge these two. Let me redo it. So I'm just using the short keys. I'm pressing Z to make sure it goes up and down. And then I use S to scale it in a little bit. G is your move short key. And then make sure you press Z so it's on the right axis. Try to line these up best you can. Oops, that's all messed up. And then you just got to weld these together. So best way to do that is click one and then click and then shift click the other one and then go to merge. There's a bunch of different merge options. I usually use at last. So whichever one I choose, it matters what order you choose it in. So if I choose this one, hold shift and then choose that one. That's the last one. So it'll merge to that one. You can also merge to the first one you chose. You can merge to the center, which is in between the two. You can merge to the cursor, whatever. But in this case, I'll just do merge at last. And now those are connected. You don't want any holes in your objects. This is also called welding in a lot of programs. And then I would just bridge this gap. So it might be a little tricky. I don't know if you have to do it one at a time or not. It didn't give me all the geometry I wanted. So I can do it like that. I can select these whole loops and press F and it'll fill, but it doesn't give me the geometry and I have to go in there with a knife and add it. Or I can just go one at a Am I confusing? Okay, so I don't feel like doing that twice. I'm just going to cut it in half again. Stream stopped. What? Is it still? Oh, I see it. Oh, am I by myself? What's going on here? We having issues? Oh, it says you're back. Okay. Yeah, modeling's weird. It's just a weird thing to get used to. You'll get used to it. Oh, the stream is weird. Yeah, YouTube Live's killing me. I don't know what the deal is. At least it moves faster than Canvas, so you can actually see what I'm doing here somewhat. So there, you've got an interior of your thing now. I don't know if you could see it, but when I was doing it. But there it is. It's all sealed up and welded and connected. I do see an issue here, it looks like. It's like some extra geometry. So I would just go in and weld this thing. Merge. Merge at last. And then apply your modifier and make sure, again, that everything is welded up. By selecting all and then removing any doubles. Good, I didn't have any doubles that time. But there you go, you got an interior. What else are we having trouble with? Anything? It's kind of easier for me just to model stuff and like show you my techniques as I do it, really. We'll be covering Blender too. Don't worry too much, guys. Like we'll get to Blender. I think after the Thanksgiving break, we're just going to be doing Blender, and we're doing Unreal too. Well, start working on your skills and you can pay the bills. Do you guys know what you want to do for a job? Or do you want to go to college out of school? Programming, yeah, that's what's up. What grade are you in? Programming, I'll tell you, even if it's games or not games, if you're a programmer and you're decent at it, you got a job. Did I tell you guys about teacher, game designer, voice actor, actor? Cool. Okay. Hey, good thing about being a teacher is, well, for me, I got to basically get my credentials in like 4 months or something because I had a few years of experience in the industry. So if you go into the industry and then you decide, hey, this is too much work, I'm going to be a teacher. It's a pretty quick transition at the moment, just due to the CTE stuff. I have a. Let me share something with you. Here, while we're on the job topic, check that out. So if you guys are interested in programming and you want to go to school for free, here's a way to do it. Not necessarily programming. This is more IT type stuff, but they will pay for your school. They will actually also they'll pay for your rent and food. They give you, where does it say? At first they give you $22,500 a year on top of paying for your school and your books. So that's rent. That's almost $2,000 a month if you think about it. So you could get your own apartment and maybe even a car with that while you're going to school. And then they say that 100% of the kids get jobs that graduate through this program. And the jobs are good too. The average cybersecurity job is $100,000. So, and this just came down to me recently. I'll give you more info as I get it, but they just got this grant at Cal State University's San Bernardino. So it's definitely something to look into if you guys are interested. Because that industry is really growing. So and if you go to college for like a computer science degree, you're set too. Yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll try to get you in the right direction. Get you all the information and stuff. But yeah, free college and free money is always good. And if you're doing computer science degree, you're good. I had a roommate that was a computer science major, and he had no problems getting jobs. He actually worked at Fox, programming all the. Basically, if you ever watch sports, they'll have like clever little statistics, like, oh, this guy hasn't hit curveballs in the last 8 games or something. He programs all these little algorithms to find those clever statistics and broadcast them live for Fox Sports. So it's kind of cool. There's a lot. There's so much stuff you can do with programming. Games is one of them, which is probably the most fun, I think. But there's a lot. And looking at what we got here, we're doing. We're gonna have quite a few weeks here working on just game design concepts coming up soon. So you should be finishing up your projects this week. If you want to continue working on them while we're doing our concepts, you can. If you wanted to use them as a later project, you can. I can also give you a little bit extra credit if you want to really work on polishing these things. But But starting next week, we're going to start doing our concepts, and then we're going to start doing game design documents, which is a more thorough written concept. And then we're going to pitch them and make teams. And then when we come back from break, I'm going to start with Unreal, and we'll start putting stuff into the games on our teams. What else can I show? Is that enough Blender? You guys want any more Blender help? Like I said, we'll get to more Blender later in the class. You don't necessarily need to worry too much about lighting or rendering or anything. For games, we just need models, and then we need textures. And there, you can, this is like what a UV map looks like. So it's not perfect. I'll show you better ways coming up soon. But if you guys want to start unwrapping your stuff, basically select the whole thing, go to mesh and go to UV unwrap, and try smart project, because normal unwrap will look like garbage. You want to do smart UV project. I'll explain more of this later. Don't worry about it. But you'll get something that looks pretty clean. That's not so bad. Actually, I kind of like that. So maybe some of these should be connected, but whatever. Then you can go in here and paint your texture on top of it, and then it'll show up. Is the AI blueprint in, is it in the tutorial? Hey, this is pretty cool. Oh, okay. The normal AI doesn't work? Okay. Yeah, that's something I'd have to look into a little deeper. Which is it's cool actually. Once you've hit a point where you can't find tutorials for you, that means you're making some real good progress. That means you're going above the normal junk people do. Um, let's see, what's this for? Behavior trees. I'll try to look into it more. I'm not going to be able to solve it in the next like 20 minutes, but one way or another, you'll have to lock them to the x-axis. You can do that a few ways. It depends like how nicely you want to do this. You could just do like a blocking volume so he can't run off. If that makes sense. So you could use like the regular AI um, and then put blocking volumes. So like something like that, where they can't, they can't run out of it. But look, I can't run that way. I can't run this way. You can just use the regular AI and block them into your 2D world. I think that might be the easiest fix. Maybe not the most professional or precise fix, but it should work, I guess. Yeah, if you could do. There's a million ways to do everything. But if you have like a little level, that's 2D and say that's your 2D world, you can just do it like that. Woo, there go my blocks. And no matter what, he's going to be coming at you. Even if the AI sees things like this. Oh, I jumped out. But how about trying that just for now, and then we'll find like a more elegant solution later. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta fix it good enough. If you have time, you can always come back and flush it out and really uh, make it precise. A lot of the times you'll do your prototyping with blueprints, and then if you're doing if you work at a big company, it'll eventually get programmed in there with C++. So that should be enough to lock your dude on. The best solution. And that's all on volumes here. You've probably already gotten to these. There's triggers here if you need to use a trigger. I don't know. They've changed it up a little bit on me where I don't know where the AI is anymore, but That's a start, I guess. This project, like I said, doesn't have to be a finished, like, amazing project. You just got to show me like 8 hours worth of progress that you've made. Okay, I'm not going to bother, but it's a quick fix with blueprints to get enemies to spawn. If you haven't done it yet, you just set up a spawn point and have it spawn however many you want. And they should, by default, hunt you down. That's a video, 2 minutes on how to put an enemy in there. Anything else I can help with real quick before we run out of time? Are you enjoying Unreal a little bit? You like how it works? I like the Unreal interface a lot better than Blender. Probably just because I'm used to it. You're good? Did you get your animating platforms and all that stuff going? Yeah, Unreal rocks. Okay, so for you guys that are doing Unreal or something like that, you can. Sorry, hold on. Aye. So you can submit me a video if you want, instead of just, you can give me the whole level, but it's gonna be a huge file, and it might be not even worth doing that. But you can give me a video and screenshots of your blueprints and stuff also. If you need a video recorder, I've been using this one, Ice Cream. So any of the tutorials I've done have just been with Ice Cream. You just say, I want to record full screen, and it'll do it. Easy peasy. You can add microphones or cameras if you want, but you can just record yourself playing your level and then upload that video to YouTube or send me the video. And then I could actually see your level played. If not, I'm probably going to record your levels anyways, so I can have something to show off for what we're doing in this class. And then for models, you can give me a video too of your model, or you can give me a couple renders or a couple screenshots. If you're having trouble with renders or screenshots or any of that stuff, shoot me an email and I'll help you out. I think most of you guys know how. Rendering, you don't have to render it because rendering would require a lighting setup, and I could care less. So You could go render and save that out. Or you could just give me a couple screenshots like this, and you just press screenshot and save those. A few so I can see your geometry. But with Blender, you can just shoot me the Blender file itself. They're small. They're easy to send. So that's it. Everything's going to be due more or less next week. So if you can get me screenshots and videos by next week, you can continue working on it, but I need something turned in. And if you need any help, let me know. If you have any like specific questions, shoot me an email, preferably today or tomorrow, so that I can help you on Thursday. If not, just whenever, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So unless you have other questions, I guess you're free to go. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll see you Thursday. If you got any questions, shoot me, and we'll try to cover it Thursday. Later, guys.